if 1 year ago you would have told me that we would make music videos for artists like Lorn and Linkin Park, I would not believe you.
I know lately we've had a lot of AI news and tutorials thrown at us. As soon as we get our head around one thing, there comes along something else to learn. That can sometimes hinder our creativity. But the most important thing is with AI is that we are using it to produce something we are proud of. I have asked friends of the channel, Sagans, to come on and tell you guys about their workflows, their backgrounds, and what inspires them to make music videos for huge names in the industry. If you don't know who Sagans are, they've been around only since 2022. They're an anonymous AI collective, and in that time, in 1 year, they have produced videos for Linkin Park, Lorn's Entropy, as well as Antwood, Age of Illusion, and Sagans now do this as a full-time career, making music videos with the assistance of AI. I really hope you take something away from this video and you're truly inspired again with AI to actually create and produce. So with that said, let's take the video away. What kind of skill sets and backgrounds are you coming from?
We don't have any specific background. We are just,
let's be honest.
Basically, we learned everything, and we are hard worker when it comes to find information. So we just spend hours and hours looking for just not tutorials, just reading manuals or understanding some small settings to make sure we can achieve things. And yeah, I mean, when it came to 3D, we just learned casually with Unreal Engine, because that's not so complicated in the end. Those days, it used to be so more complicated. I mean, we're not doing things with Blender. We're using Unreal Engine, so it's part of the marketplace, just taking an asset, transforming the asset. Most of the time, that's our way of working, to take things and to transform it into something else, to save on time and keep on the line of creativity. Because when you're a small team, you just want to achieve your objective as fast as possible. Otherwise, you will not keep your motivation intact. And that's the key for us, to just go with the flow and not think about our background, because everything is evolving so fast right now that you can just become something else in 1 year if you just spend a year working hard.
Yeah, but I would just add that I think that when we have like an emergency in a project, you're more on the solving side. Like let's see how we can solve this issue on the tech side, and I would be more on the when you have to find like a really quick artistic idea. I think naturally you're attracted to what feels easier for you. And I think for me, it's the artistic direction part, and for you, the tech part. Obviously, we work together on many things, but on some issues, yeah, we can see some differences.
The reason why I asked that question, because a lot of the viewers, their concerns are that they are self-taught. And I think you guys, and with answering that question, give confidence to people watching this video that actually getting your head down and learning AI and learning from the tutorials.
You're right, that's so important.
Yeah.
Because people can think that we are just in the industry, that we are VFX somewhere in a big company. Nobody knows.
And when we talk about this with some friends and family, they are always really scared of it. They're like, "Oh, how do you do this? It must be so complicated," or it's time consuming, obviously. But we always answer to them that if we can do it, anyone can do it, basically.
Yeah.
You just need to find the motivation and have a goal in mind, I think.
That's more a philosophical question, but creation comes from limits most of the time, in a way. You need to limit yourself if you want to be creative. In music, there are a lot of topics about it, like, okay, you're not inspired today, try to create a song with only 4 notes. You don't have to, you can't use those ones. You need to restrict yourself to those 4 notes only. And you would be amazed, like there is one James Blake song made that way, for example, where it was all about limit. The song is amazing. And that's always the same. You shouldn't invest into something. You should limit yourself, and
especially at the beginning.
So what tools are you using?
For the Antwoord, at the time, Dream Booth didn't exist. So it was mainly through prompt that we were going through the style we wanted. And for the technique behind it, that's definitely Warp Fusion mainly. And for our music video, it's kind of always the same concept. We are using Warp Fusion as a base. We are shooting videos to just make kind of the storytelling. And in between, we are using Deforum to just make the thing more interesting, kind of traveling through the frames from scene to scene. For 3D, there is no 3D in the Antwoord, but we love Unreal Engine. We started with Unreal Engine. It's so easy to translate the universe you have in mind. When we use AI on top of this, you can just understand that everything can be done. And those days you don't need necessarily like some complicated or heavy equipment to make some movements in Unreal Engine. You can use some websites like move.ai, for example, to shoot a video and turn it into 3D. And then from 3D, let's say you're using a metahuman, you can turn it into a more realistic metahuman. And that's part of the tutorials you're doing, by the way. And so you know this better than us. And we feel like we should even go further into this process, and we're already thinking about it for the near future, because 3D plus AI is definitely the future. When we are happy with the video edits, we always work on After Effects if we want to make some complicated transitions, and DaVinci Resolve when it comes to colors and just making it pretty. And you don't have to get a good computer. You don't really care. You could do everything online. You could go on a runway to just edit green screen. That's what we are doing most of the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just shoot a video, we go on a runway, we remove the background, and that's it. And it's free when you work on
I think we
OS.
have the worst setup ever.
Yeah.
Like I work on a MacBook Air. I mean, you have a Pro, but and we have some friends who are buying GPU and they are putting money in it. But I think so far for us, we will keep this setup, and the day we feel the limits, we will maybe like upgrade everything. But I think it's really helping us in the ideation process to have those limits. Because
So important,
how
yeah.
to turn this like footage on an iPhone into an anime, how to turn the kitchen into a city street.
The future is about crossing a lot of techniques to achieve things. And that's why everyone thinks this video should spend some time on Reddit every day. I mean, that's maybe the best advice we have. Just to check Reddit 10 minutes a day, just to make sure you know what's new. And at the same time, you don't have to feel overwhelmed by it. You need to check it in a casual way. It's not a big deal if you don't know how ControlNet is working or whatever, but just to know that something new exists, to keep it in mind and to use it on your next project if it's worth it. But if you're working on a long project right now, just keep your current workflow. Don't overthink to use something else.
Yeah.
You should stay on your base and keep the new tools for future things.
How do you see the role of AI music videos evolving in the future?
The music video has always been a huge part of releasing new tracks for music artists. It's a way of getting a media excited by your project and to create engagement with fans. But as a music artist, it's hard to make great music videos when you don't have some friends making great videos or without a music label allocating quite a budget for you. So we feel like AI will give power to music artists. They will be more and more able to create videos on their own in a faster way than before, while keeping the audience excited. We can see that there is a rise in independent music artists those days who want to manage everything. So they want to manage their music. They don't want a mixing engineer anymore. They don't want to go to mastering anymore. They want to produce everything themselves just to keep their creativity, and they don't want to share with someone else. And because of kind of mindset, they need to manage their social accounts, they want to manage their shows. Basically, they just want to manage everything regarding their image. We feel like AI will be the best ally for them. Just using AI, producing your own videos, producing your own music, and that's so great.
I actually relate that to something what Grimes announced the other day about using her voice and being able to train it. She would give you half of the royalties, having that as a starting block. I know there's a lot of people out there now training her voice in
Yes.
specific AI programs. And then the next step on that would be then combining that with a very cool music video. We've never experienced this ever.
We can thank her for this. I mean, this period is so interesting. It all relies on the concept of what is identity for an artist, because that's crazy when you think about it, that you can just give your voice to anyone to just use it. And I mean, it's part of your identity as a human, but also as an artist. And it's raises so many questions. And at the same time, it gives so much power to everyone. Let's say someone who is really bad at singing, or just not really bad at singing, just not self-confident enough to sing and to be proud of his or her voice. But we feel like this new asset of AI vocals can be also really interesting when you want to merge some models. Because let's say right now you will have the Grimes model, but you will have also the Billie Eilish model, and you could merge those models together as you would do it with just the still images models, and you could create some brand new vocals out of a base. And when you think about it, it's opening so many things. You don't have to work with 15 people to create some choirs in the back. You could just work with models to make it in the right way.
How do you collaborate as a team when working on a music video?
So we usually go with the flow. It doesn't sound really professional, but that's how we do things. We do what we do because we try to feel, free to be inspired. We don't want to give ourselves specific rules for now, because we feel like it's killing the inspiration in a way. So how we usually do, there are a few steps that comes back all the time. We start by brainstorming together. It can take days, either weeks. Then we can test the concepts. That's the tricky part. And when it's ready to go, we start the production in a pretty casual way. And we just follow the pace of the tech evolving. There's something new every single day. So yeah, we try to stay open-minded. If we find through the process of a project, we find a better way to achieve things, we just stop what we're doing and we embrace the new tech and adapt our workflow to this. So yeah, we think it's better for us at this stage of our project to keep things casual and to work in a fluid way, I would say.
How much do you see of the actual AI community and what do you feel about it?
Yeah, so the AI community is the most important thing, because right now that's the community driving things. It's someone seeing an article on Reddit and thinking, oh, I could add something on top. And that's why it's getting so fast. It's not about only the companies investing money right now, it's about the community having some ideas and objectives. And we feel like it's so important. We would love to spend more time on the community, but because of the project we embarked, it's really hard to just spend some time on Discord.
And I think to anyone listening to this and being a bit scared of just starting and entering this AI world, I think this community is literally there to help anyone interested in it. I mean, if you have any troubles on something, you can just look on Reddit or ask someone on Discord and somebody will help you in a minute. And I think it's such a game changer to be in this community, and it's so encouraging.
Any advice to people who are inspired by what you guys do, and how would you advise them to get started?
When you start AI right now, that's such a blessing compared to when we started. When we started, it was only Discord diffusion and one Discord channel only a few things on Reddit, when you were stuck on something, there was no way to understand how to fix it. Basically, now Warp Fusion, the tool we are using, is so great. We encourage everyone to just go and use this tool because it's so powerful. It's not like Deforum, you need a video behind it, but you can make the video with anything you want. You can also go on a few websites to create some abstract 3D visuals and use it in Warp Fusion to do something crazier with it. Basically, right now, when you have an idea, you can just make it, because there are so many websites. I don't know if today I have the idea to just draw something really quickly on a white paper and scan it, and I want to animate it, I can just look for a tool online, and of course there will be a tool to do it. And 1 year ago that was not the case, because the tech was not there. The consistency right now is so great. Before, it was all about the flickering. That was a huge part of the time-consuming process.
Yeah, it was really discouraging at times.
To get rid of the flickering. And now you can have everything. You can find a model on everything you want. If you go to Civit AI, you can dream boost your own thing with your own drawings if you want. And even to generate something on Gen 2 and to turn it into something else with Warp Fusion, you don't have to go outside and to have a big camera crew to shoot something. You can just do it on runway, and then...
Are there any misconceptions about AI in music videos that you'd like to clear up?
Yeah, there are a lot of misconceptions about AI, mainly because of media. Journalists tend to describe AI as a one sentence to final video. Even with the new text-to-video technique, which is super easy to use, you just write a sentence in Runway and you will get a 15 seconds video or 3 seconds video. It still requires a strong vision about the timeline and the progression, the style. And if you want to make a music video with a text-to-video technique, for example, you will have to edit somewhere all those scenes. You will have to have a good continuity between everything and a good storytelling. And this is part of the human input, and it will remain the same. That's why people are watching videos. That's why people are listening to music. That's because you want to feel the human input behind it. Actually, in the end, you don't really care about the tools we will use. The most important is what you feel when you watch the video, and who made it with which vision and which storytelling. And making great video requires a lot of thinking, and AI is only a tool to achieve this. The process, the vision process, remains the exact same as before. Of course, if you're doing a quick visualizer for an artist, you can use Deforum. It can be super straightforward. You can write a good prompt. You can use your super good settings for 3D camera movements in Deforum, and you can get something for 4 minutes. But it won't be super interesting. It's going to be just kind of an image moving, and that's fun right now in 2022 or 2023, but people are already getting bored to see the same visualizer, so it won't be forever. It was cool for a few months and that's it. And we feel like music videos, we see it as a short film with a soundtrack behind it, and it will always require a lot of time. On our end, it can take sometimes weeks, and it can take months for Lorn, for example. And on another topic, we recently saw many articles about the AI-generated music, copying the voice of artists, as we said. And that's funny because when you read articles about it, that's the exact same thing. The journalists are talking about, like, yeah, this person just wrote a sentence in AI and then he got the music. But no, it's not. Basically, the person who did this had to record the song from the beginning to the end. He or she had to do the vocals, the lyrics, and only at the end of the process you can use AI to change the tone of your voice to match the person, but it's still a long work, and it will remain a long work in a way. And so that's the same everywhere. That's why there are so many misconceptions, and sometimes it can be frustrating when you worked for so long on a project and you just share it on YouTube, and you can just read the first comment saying AI video, not interested. And yeah, I mean, I understand if the style and the tool is not interesting, but
You fundamentally are creative people, no matter which medium that you choose, whether it be music or AI or the next technology that we haven't seen yet. Creativity will always lead, but just clicking a button and randomly creating something, it's not the same as the processes that you guys use, which require that creative mind.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people like to call something a piece of art when they know that the artist behind it has spent a lot of time on it. And they somehow think that with AI it's so quick and fast and efficient that because of this, it's not art. And sometimes I just want to say that, first of all, it's not always straightforward. It can take like weeks and months on a project. And I don't know why the time spent on something is like a value of quality or...
yeah, but we can see it so much. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And you know, when it comes to the AI backlash, in a way, that's funny because people are always talking about ethics and how the model was trained, everything. But when we released the Linkin Park video with the production company called Shibuya, basically for this video, we trained the model from scratch to use the style of this company, Shibuya, making anime videos. So the style of the Linkin Park video is made by the company hiring us to work on this video. So there was no ethic issues with it, and still people were complaining. And usually when people start talking so much about something, it's art in a way.
Yeah,
when, when it gives you an emotion, whether it's bad or good.
Yeah, and I think we're just going through a phase, and maybe in the future what would be really interesting is just art made of AI and a multiple of other techniques. I mean, that's already what we do.
It's going to be more and more.
I mean, I wish it was that simple, like just entering a prompt and having a wonderful result for a video, but it's just impossible.
Yeah, and would it be interesting? Because again, you can write a book with a ChatGPT, and the more interesting part is to know that it's a story about someone, or just the human behind it. Everyone is interested in the human behind the art and not the art itself.
Lorn's Entropy video, how much video footage did you use compared to 3D footage?
In this one, that's a lot of video compared to other works we've done. We started doing a lot of 3D because AI was not powerful enough to do something on top. So we had to have a really good base. Let's say we want an anime. It was easier at the time to start with a 3D render pretty anime and to improve it with AI a bit.
And for Lorn, I would say it was a 50-50, no? Like 50% Deforum, 50% Warp Fusion.
Exactly. But now you could just, our latest post on Instagram, for example, is a full footage, and we were able to turn it into a crazy anime from real life to anime. We still don't understand how powerful it is right now. I mean, that's so crazy because there is so much consistency each. But you see this one, it's not 3D or anything. It's basically Solin walking in our kitchen. Yeah. That's why we feel it's so crazy.
It is
an iPhone.
There is no 3D or anything involved in the background, or it's only a video in a real life in a kitchen.
That transition from falling to walking is immense. That's a very cool transition. Love that.
The transition is that's where there is some proper work, because actually we start with the second part of the video, which is just walking in a Japanese environment. Then we came back to the first frame of this second part, and we went on Deforum to input the frame of the background. And then we get back and try to play with the camera movement to go into buildings. To talk about something that everyone can understand, when you start with the music and you go on your computer and you have 50 plugins to emulate every single sound in the world, you're not inspired. That's so good to just have a recorder or just one synthesizer or one guitar, whatever, and you need to create something futuristic with it, and you will think outside the box. That's all about it.
And I just want to mention Grimes there again, because the Vision album that she created was famously created in a room within a week or something like that, with a synthesizer and a keyboard, and that's some of her greatest music.
Yeah, that's so funny what you're saying. Every single big artist with a proper storytelling, it was all about limits. It's never about having the latest version of the latest software. When you look at the workflow, like the best songs were made in a bedroom. I mean, to talk about the 10 past years, it was in a bedroom on a bad computer with the latest software. And that's crazy.
So you've actually produced your own music, and it's called Coherence, so you should check it out. It's in the description below, and it's absolutely my favourite song at the moment.
Oh, really?
It really is. Did you use AI to create the sound?
The music was not, but you have some part in the background which are AI created with Jukebox AI at the time, OpenAI, Jukebox AI, just to create kind of an atmosphere. But the main composition part is human created.
Are we going to be seeing any more music from you guys?
But we think that we are going into a big wave of projects right now, and when it's going to be over, we will maybe release a few songs.
Thanks so much for your time today. And
thank you as well. That's so kind of you to take the time.
You're more than welcome. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that, and I'm gonna cut